Steve and Jill here.
Hi.
Welcome to the House Academy Show, entertaining real estate investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butella.
And I am Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about to renovate or not to renovate for house investors. It seems like a pretty simple question.
Isn't it funny? Some people, you need to decide what you're going to do going into it. And I think some people have trouble with that. I think they walk in and they get all excited. And what I really want to talk about here is, what are you good at? Figure out what you want to do. Go into it with that attitude. Don't waver. Know what you're good at and get it done.
We asked our House Academy staff to actually write these topics.
Right.
I usually, for the land show, I write it myself the vast majority of the time. And we try to address kind of what the community is talking about on that forum. But this is a little bit different. So these topics are new to me too. Mm-hmm. You know, like I would never have guessed that this is kind of a question that goes on in a typical Land Academy member's head. But it seems logical, I guess.
Yes, it is.
Because I don't want to renovate anything. But it's not just...
But we have.
It's not us.
And we have.
And
so we're going to talk about that.
Before we get into the topic, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the houseacademy.com online community. It's free.
Allison asks, isn't there a way to do away with sending out offers? It seems a little old-fashioned and not current with today's technology.
Isn't there a way to do away with sending offers out? Do away with sending offers out.
A way to do away with, to stop sending
seems
offers.
old-fashioned and non-current with technology. This is a good question.
Uh-huh.
I've had people say this, walk up to me and say this stuff. Like, what is it? 1971? You're going to send somebody an offer on a piece of paper? Isn't there a better way? You know, it's funny you bring this up. Because I was looking at, I got in my news feed, I have this news feed set up for stuff that I care about in Google. And one of the things that popped in was this whole corporate overview and the financing structure for a company out of San Francisco called Open Door. And their whole business model is essentially our business model, but there's a few caveats. Well, there's actually a lot, but they promote the heck out of their app and advertise all over the place about just saying, hey, I want an offer. Send me an offer. Mm-hmm. You're a homeowner. Please send me an offer. Fill this thing out. And then within 24 hours, they do. And their whole claim to fame is we send a retail offer. You know, we send an offer just like you're going to sell it on the MLS. But we charge 7%.
That's a lot.
To which I say, well, now you're a real estate agent.
Yeah.
I mean, these Palo Alto, I'm not knocking it. I'm sure they're doing great.
Right.
They just leased 50,000 square feet of Class A tenant space in Phoenix. And that'll tell you what's going on in Phoenix as far as this environment goes, which is all positive. These real estate companies that pop up, real estate technology apps that pop up, specifically out of Northern California, there's typically not a single real estate person involved in it at all. It's kids that know how to raise equity and know how to develop apps. And so I'm sure a couple of them looked at it and said, well, if a real estate agent makes 6%, how about we charge 7%? And we just give them the money real fast, and then we resell the house.
Right. Well, it's 6% on the buy side, which is normally 3%. Well, okay, 3 to each.
They charge 7% on the acquisition as a fee. Then they resell the house for the same amount that they bought it.
Oh, that's all they're doing.
Yep.
Oh, they're just marketing it.
They just raised $1.5 billion.
I saw in there too, people can trade houses. Like, I can trade over here. This is it's very interesting. You know what? I don't think it's nuts. I do appreciate what they're doing is similar to ours, which is they're trying to see trying to let interested people come to them, not just cold calling everybody or sending. They're not doing blanketing things. They're like, if you want to sell, maybe we can help you.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we do. If you want to sell, we can help you. Here's what we pay. If this works for you, call me.
So the acquisition piece of this really works. They're literally buying. Every 27 seconds, somebody submits a thing. The stats are overwhelming, and they're buying a lot of houses. They're just not selling any.
Right.
And it's very, very,
I'm
it's just
sure their
every
numbers
20
are like our
minutes,
numbers.
every 20 minutes, somebody one of these things pop up. So to answer your question, isn't there something a little bit more modern, a way that you can buy and sell this stuff without this 1971 business model? And the answer is, yeah, there is. But it only ever, in my opinion, complements this other male effort.
Right.
So we've proven over and over and over again, regardless of our members' age or our age, that sending offers like this works.
It does.
What it's being complemented with now, and here's the real answer to your question, is some form of legal texting and notifying sellers or buyers about the fact that there's a property for sale in their immediate little area there, and they're already owning property there. Maybe you want to buy this house you just bought. So there's texting, as long as you do it legally. There's phone calls and emailing, as long as you do it within compliance of the rules for that stuff. So yeah, there's all kinds of ways that you can complement sending out mail. But in my experience, Jill and I have done more than 16,000 deals. There's no better way, more efficient way to learn of people's real interest to sell their property than sending out mail. And so all the apps in the world are going to, what ends up happening, to finish the thought on the open door type company, is that a tremendous number of people say, yeah, I do want to sell my house, and send me an offer. And so it's like insurance. It's the insurance model. You just have to, and the mortgage model. The more traffic you can drive, the higher, the same percentage of people are going to sell their house to you.
Right.
So if you can drive a tremendous amount of traffic, you got to sift through all that stuff. You're creating a tremendous amount of work for yourself. So
I can't even imagine. And
so
I'm just thinking,
to the point where they need 50,000 square
Well,
feet in Phoenix.
how many people too are just going, all they're doing is going to get a number and then go shop it.
Yeah, it's just,
You know what? It's just because that we all would, everybody would do that too. You know, I would love to see for every 100, every 1,000. That's what I would love to see.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to find out too. It probably is one of every 30,000. I bet if you line up our numbers and their numbers, I bet our number or yield is higher. And I'm serious. Because how many people...
there's no doubt. Well, I was going to finish the thought there
Okay.
too, is there's no doubt that our yield, there's a reason there's 50,000 square feet of brand new office space that they just got.
'Cause they need that many
all these
people.
people to deal with all this. And they probably do is,
It's true.
one of us, Jill and I as a team, can close probably 20 deals a month, maybe 30 with an assistant between us, one a day. And so for not a lot of money.
Exactly.
And not a lot of overhead and a lot of pain. And the people that are calling us are saying, yeah, I do want to sell my house.
Right.
It's not, hey, let's talk about it. Because that's what these apps generate. Hey, let's talk about it.
Exactly.
What is my house worth?
Right. Is that all? We need to talk about that more.
Yeah.
And why 7%? We need to talk about that.
7.2.
Oh my gosh.
How'd you come up with that?
You know, and I would be shocked and amazed if there weren't other hidden fees in there.
There are.
Thank you.
They actually spell it all out.
That's what I'm saying. So it's 7 point whatever plus A, B, C, D, E, F, and G.
Their whole pitch is this: we'll pay you what your house is worth. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to clean out the garage. You can just walk away. We're going to pay you cash for what the house is worth. We're going to charge a fee for that. We're going to charge a service
Right.
to buy your house. A convenience fee is what they call it. So
Right.
7.2%. So on a $200,000 house, that's 18 grand ish.
Let me just say one thing too, which is really much our business model. We're paying what it's worth in its current condition, and we're making it convenient. There's a little bit of convenience in there.
Yeah.
You know, the bottom line is, as I hear you talking about this, and I'm thinking what's probably going on in our listeners' heads, the amount of properties that change hands every day, not just the properties in the country and what change hands and is moving, they can have a successful business doing it their way. We can have a successful
Absolutely.
business doing it our way, and you can have a successful business doing it your way.
Well said, Joe.
So I really don't want anyone to panic and worry because we're talking about this. That's not what this is about. It's interesting to look at, you know, is it worth putting something like this on your own website? Sure. Why not? Test it. Test it. See if it's something that you want to do. We have had stuff like this on our sites and in the past, and really still the best for us is just, gosh, hitting that area with a direct mail and focusing our efforts and and getting those deals done.
Depends on what you want.
True.
If you want to raise $1.5 billion in Palo Alto and start your own app, which is essentially this,
Sure.
then that's great.
You could do that.
We have, I'll tell you, the typical House Academy member there is interested in doing between 1 and 2 deals a month,
Right.
full time. They typically have a family,
Yeah. And they retire and they have a nice life.
and they make between $30,000 and $50,000 a pop.
Yeah.
So now they're making between, let's say, $40,000 and $80,000 to $100,000 a month,
Right.
and living a great life.
Yeah.
Living a great. I have time. I drop my kids off at school. I pick them up at school. That's really what this is all about.
True.
Now, that said,
Thank
we've
you.
got several members who have that's not good enough, and they really want to take it a lot further, and that's good for this too. So that's a great question. I'm really glad you asked it, and I monitor this stuff personally as the ringleader here at the Land Academy, House Academy, Car Academy companies. So it's my job to monitor this stuff way out front and watch these tech things and make sure that there's not a better situation out there. Because believe me, if I see something that's going to benefit us all, I'm going to include it as a part of this subscription that we offer, because I want us to all win too. I want, there will never, in my opinion, be a replacement for the type of customer service that we as individual business owners provide these homeowners.
Right.
So whoever's running Open Door, I can guarantee they're not giving you the service that Jill gives you as a seller. When this show's not for sellers at all, but
You just tied into something great I want to share right now about technology moving forward. This is a little bit of a timeout because it's out now. If you've not checked out parcelfact.com, which when you talked about we're going to stay ahead of it, make sure you have access to what you need. And if it doesn't exist, by the way, we create it. A beautiful example is Parcel Fact. So if you have not checked out Parcel Fact, you should. I think there's a $15 a day pet thing that you can just test it out. We have added a flood map overlay, which is huge. So people in House Academy, sometimes we're working on infill lots, and you need to see what's possible for people to build there. This solves it. If you've ever gone and trying to find a property, you look it up here, you look it up there. Now I'm getting on the FEMA.gov. I'm trying to figure out where it fits, all that stuff. You don't have to do it. Parcel Fact will do it all. You just put in the address, pulls up all the property details, the zoning. If there's sales statistics is in there, all the ownership information is in there. You can see it. You have GPS coordinates, but exactly, I just wanted to show you that the new version of Parcel Fact is out.
we're constantly releasing new products and new education and new ways to price things, and it's constant.
It's awesome.
That's the value hopefully we bring.
Thank you.
Today's topic: to renovate or not.
We just talked for 13 minutes and we haven't even got to the show.
This is why you're listening.
I think it's funny. All right. So here's what I want to say about this. To renovate or not to renovate. It's very easy to walk into a property and see what's possible. How do I know? Been there, done that. We still do that sometimes, It's like, and now like our boots on, we do that like with land a lot, like maybe we should keep it, things like that. What this could be. Hold on a moment. Is that what we're good at? Think about what you're good at. So I want to talk real quick about this because there's a lot of people in our community who are those people. And for you shouldn't change a thing. We have several people in House Academy that own construction companies. They've been doing this business for a while. They have the team in place. They know exactly what to do. For them, they should continue on that path. They know what they're good at. That's what they're looking for. Now, and they know how. So what House Academy does for them is fills that hole for them, which is finding more properties. That's why they're here. Now they find them, acquire them. They don't mark them up because they're their own buyers. They're like, yay, solve their own problem. They do the renovation. They now make way more money on the property. They didn't have to pay anybody a finder's fee, and then they go sell it. So for those people, you should continue to renovate. That's your thing. What I want to talk about is for those of us who aren't in that business, we don't know construction. We don't know how to swing a hammer. We, aren't pros at this. And I really want you to, but it's very easy because we all watch HGTV to say, I can do that too. And I want you to pause and think about are you really that person? Do you really want to go that far? Because the opening up a wall, we're not even know what to look for. There's other professionals out there. So I want you to really think about to renovate or not to renovate, what business you want to be in, and, and stick to it. So that's what we choose. We choose to not renovate because I know I can make more money flipping deals faster to those guys. And you know what? Some of those guys are in our community right now. I'm happy to queue up deals all day long for them. They're finding their own. I find some for them. Everybody wins.
Every time I hear about or think about, specifically on these shows, renovation, or when I walk through a house, because we used to, not so much anymore, we used to walk through the houses, and they're a disaster. There are some of them are just half done. You never know what you're going to find when you get in there. Some of them are half done. Some of them have the original stuff in it. It's when they were built in the 50s, 60s, 70s. So you don't know what you're going to find. But I always think of a blank canvas. And then I sit there and I take the analogy a little bit further. I don't know why I've never vocalized this.
Yeah.
Would you rather be the art store that sells the canvas to the painter? And then what that painter does, there's a lot of options. If they're a great painter, let's say I make $10 on the canvas. I buy it somewhere and I resell it and I make $10. And I'm really only ever focused on selling a blank canvas.
I like this analogy.
I like selling canvas. I know about it. I know where to get it cheaper. I spent a lot of time outsourcing all over the world to try to find cheaper quality canvas. That's my thing. I'm a wholesaler. I'm not a painter. And so a painter doesn't care about the canvas. They're going to look at the canvas. They're going to see something I don't see. And you can tell when you walk through a house with a renovator, a good one, they start to see stuff and they'll tell you. That's why these people have these HGTV shows. It's that talent. They don't have the canvas talent. They don't care.
Right.
They want it. They are moving walls in their heads. Some of those renovators and some of these painters are Michelangelo. Right. So they're going to take a canvas that's a $20 piece of stretched canvas on wood and make it a multi-million-dollar masterpiece that lives in infamy long beyond our generations of whatever.
Right.
And some of these architects slash some of our customers make masterpieces and they charge for them and people buy them. That's not me. I'm not an artist. I'm not a contractor. I'm not a renovator. I threw my tools away a long time ago. And I learned this because Jill and I renovated some houses and realized that it's not so much that we were bad at it. We just didn't, it's not our thing.
Right. We realized we could make way more money and do it faster, just flipping it to somebody else.
By the time
and doing more.
A renovator gets done with the house,
yeah,
I bet I sold 1,000 canvases if I'm doing my job. I bet I made more money.
That's the thing. Figure out what you're good at. I love your canvas thing. Because I'm thinking about, too, like a blank white canvas, I'm going to sell, I have an unlimited audience of buyers. But this end done, beautiful painting, it's a smaller market who's going to want that painting.
That's right.
And that size and those colors and that frame. It's going to
take a long time to sell it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be real expensive. And that's just
Sitting
not
a
game I want to play.
My gallery. Exactly. That's a good one. I like that. Thank you.
We know your time is valuable. Thanks for spending some of it with us today. Join us next time for another interesting episode.
And we answer your questions posted on our online community found at houseacademy.com. It is free.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition. I got all wrapped up in my little speech.
I liked it.
That
was a good little...
Lost on the teleprompter.
That was good.
I don't know why I think there's an art component to some of this stuff.
I agree.
Renovating houses is all art.
I agree.
I see there's an artistic way that you can pull data too.
Right.
Not as much. It's not as obvious.
I think there's some art there too. I think that's good. Wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, please subscribe and rate us there. We are Steve and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.